I don't know if I ever learned how to cook. Yeah, I wonder if cooking is like gardening. You either are good at it or you're not. Because I want to feed my family, but it's not like, oh, I can't wait until I get into the kitchen. It's the opposite. I kind of see the kitchen and I go, oh God, I hope I can whip something so they can, not starve. But it's not that, oh, like you see in the movies, the woman is singing like the angels sing, and then she gets the right mix of whatever. It's not like that for me.
Real women, real lives, real stories. This is the Ladies in Power podcast. Unfiltered, unscripted, and refreshingly authentic. We're not holding back, and maybe after this, neither will you. Let's go.
Welcome to the Ladies in Power podcast. Today, we're going to be speaking about food and recipes and what they represent to us, our favorites, and how they show up in our lives and why they are special to us. My name is Meeka Casey.
And I'm Sandeep Batha.
Mahsa Soraya.
Irvin.
And we are Ladies in Power just like you. We were thinking about food, and food has so much more meaning than just that's delicious. They talk about perfume and music and how it gets reminders in our hearts about certain things. Well, food does that for me too. What about you, Dr. Soraya? And what is special about food for you? I love eating food.
I do.
I'm almost scared to say I don't cook that much, so I don't have memories of cooking. But I do remember reading a book by Proust, Marcel, I think, Proust. And the first 100 pages was when he ate this little sponge cake dipped in tea, and it brought in his mind this whole memory of his grandmother. And the book went on for 100 pages, him describing the taste, the memories, how it affected him, his psyche. And later on, I read that actually psychologists call that the Proustian, or, according to his name, because he went on for hours talking about this mandolin cake and how good it tasted. As I don't cook, it doesn't evoke any kind of memories. I just love to eat. Sorry.
What about when you go to a restaurant? Do you have a favorite that evokes a memory of, the first time you ordered it or shared it with your daughter or... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Persian, and one of my favorite foods is Persian food.
Mhm.
And this one particular food that's my favorite is called cholo kebab. Literally means rice with kebabs.
Okay.
But back home, it used to come with hot kebabs and an egg yolk. I know it doesn't sound very appetizing, but you mix the egg yolk in the white rice, and then you put salt and pepper with tomatoes and this. Oh my God, every time I smell the kebabs or I remember that, it brings me home and how much fun it was. And in years, I have been in search of the perfect combination in all kinds of Persian restaurants, and none of these guys have delivered. None of them, you kind of eat it and you go, nah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it was how good the meat was those days or how good the egg was or the combination of the heat, and I don't know.
Who made it?
The restaurant made it.
And who were you with in the restaurant? If you think about that special meal.
Yeah. It was mom, dad. I was maybe 8 years old.
Oh.
We're all sitting around. It's a family event, and birds are chirping. It's summer in Iran. It was just the most beautiful. Yeah. And it's just no. You kind of eat it and you go, no, it's not the same. But you were talking about your grandma's borscht. Was it borscht that she was making?
Yeah, I did mention that earlier.
Is that why it brings the memory of your grandma for you?
Oh, my
The food?
Babcia has so many memories, and I wish that she had documented those recipes for me because I would love to make them and share them with all of you. Hindsight is always 20/20, and it's one of those signs that it's a good idea for us to document recipes from our loved ones or our own recipes to share, because when they're gone, they're gone. Like the story of the kitchen in Iran. And I just, when I have borscht, so borscht my grandmother made, and it's beets and beef broth and some onion, and it's cooked for hours. And there was something about my Babcia's borscht, and as you share your story, I don't know if it was so much about the borscht or it was the memories of sitting there as a little girl with her cooking it on the stove, giving me love and attention in a busy world. And maybe that's what made the borscht so special. However, I have found a local restaurant in Port Coquitlam that makes a borscht like my Babcia's.
A score.
It's so
Find.
amazing. It is a score. And so I bring it home and I have it in my freezer. I don't have it now. It's been a tough week, a couple of weeks. And the borscht is something I will pull out of my freezer, and in the process of thawing it in the pot and heating it up and taking in the aromas, it takes me back and it grounds me and it reminds me that I'm loved and that I'm special and no matter what's going on in the world. And so even though I don't have her recipe, I have there's this amazing restaurant and I'm trying to think of the name of it. I'll come back with the name of it.
And Meeka, what is borscht? I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's a soup that's beets and beef broth and a bit of onion.
Oh.
And it's just home. It's home. Yeah.
You're reminding me of a dish also that I was going to talk about today. And, I also love Indian cooking. There's many layers to it. It's complex. The flavors are just, they're all over your tongue and just they're lighting up. But one of my favorite dishes is the most simplest dish. My grandmother used to make it, and my mom made it for me when I was a young girl. And it was made, if you might have a digestive upset, or maybe it was her way of TLC for me. But it's called khichdi. And khichdi is rice, orange lentils, boiled together. And then I'm sure they added a healthy dose of butter and they would add salt and pepper. Oh my God. Like if I was stranded on an island, I could eat this dish every single day. And then she would put like a big tablespoon or so of plain yogurt on it.
Oh, nice.
It's hot. It's salty, it's buttery, and then you've got this yogurt that kind of cools it all down. And when I eat khichdi, I also have always felt like it's just a hug from my maternal side. It's a hug from my grandmother, and it's a hug from my mom. And I feel so loved, and I feel so taken care of whenever I'm having that dish. And what's really awesome is, I was a grandchild having it from my grandmother's hands. And I do believe when, you were both sharing, food tastes good because of the sensory experience that we're also having around who's with us. What's the memory? Is it warm? Whose hands have made it? What intention did they have as they made it? What love did they pour into it? So I'm a really firm believer that my maternal grandmother, my mother, both pour so much love into their food. And now what's really been cool is when my son was quite young, my mom started making it for both my kids, but he took a particular love to it. So then to see that I was a grandchild enjoying a grandmother's khichdi, and now I see my son enjoying his grandmother's khichdi, and this kid would stuff himself to the point of like, my mom would say like, he's eating as much as like a 300-pound man. I don't know. If I ask him, are you full? He's just like, no, more.
Oh, that's so
and
sweet.
It just, for me, it's such like a passing of something.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy it's in my son's DNA, this love of khichdi, the simplest meal, because I know he could be anywhere in the world and he'll be able to whip that up for himself, and just remember the love with which it was made. And I've made it for him, but somehow it's just not the same.
Not the same.
It's just not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Maybe I'll get there one day, maybe for my grandchildren. But yeah, just I love this topic and just what's bringing up in terms of memories and feelings.
I agree with you guys, and the same thing, Sandeep, and all of you guys. It's our Indian food. It's funny because this morning my daughter had her wisdom teeth taken out a couple of days ago, and this morning she asked for Indian tea, so we call Indian tea cha, and that's what I made for her. And when I make our cha, it reminds me of being back in England because everyone has tea time. I don't know how many times we drink tea. We drink a lot of tea. And then I learned from my mom how to make tea, but I found that she really wanted a milky tea. So as a teenager, I created my own style of cha, and I use a lot of fennel, I use a lot of cardamom, I use clove, and I use cinnamon. And then I let it brew. And when I mean brew, I mean I let it sit on the stove for about a good 15, 20 minutes before I even add tea bags. And then I add the full fat milk. The fattier the better. And it just has this beautiful creamy consistency. And the one thing that I find with these ingredients is that they actually really do calm you down. Just a one sip, especially the fennel and the cardamom and that mix of clove and cinnamon just really calms the body down. And then you want to get some biscuits.
Oh, I love
Dip some biscuits in it.
Food, you just mentioned that, Gurvinder. Food can also be very healing, not just on a sense of, your mom or your grandmother made it. But I was sharing with the girls that about a week ago, I fell and I twisted my wrist and my ankle. And I remember from the time of my grandma, one of the things they used to do is they used to get egg yolk. Yeah, they get the egg yolk and they mix it with, what's that yellow thing called?
Turmeric?
Turmeric.
Yeah.
They mix it with turmeric until it becomes a paste. So
Okay.
you get the raw egg yolk and you get the turmeric. You beat it until it becomes sort of like a paste. And then you rub it on wherever it's inflamed. And then you tie it with like a band. And honestly, it does miracles, more so than any kind of Western medication could, to bring down the inflammation. And I think for me, how do you use food in kind of a medicinal aspects of it? I don't know if I ever learned how to cook. I wonder if cooking is like gardening. You either are good at it or you're not. Because I want to feed my family, but it's not like, oh, I can't wait until I get into the kitchen. It's the opposite. I kind of see the kitchen and I go, oh, God, I hope I can whip something so they can, not starve. But it's not that, oh, like you see in the movies, the woman is singing like the angels sing and then she gets the right mix of whatever. It's not like that for me. And listening to you guys, I'm like, is it genetic or is it something you cultivated? Like the love of cooking.
I think it's cultivated.
Oh,
I really do think I
agree.
think you step foot in the kitchen and you start small. And maybe it's making a sandwich is the first step, and then you perfecting the sandwich, and then you move up to making, let's say, pancakes or something else. I think you put the time and effort in because I grew up cooking Indian food. We didn't have Western food growing up. Like my mom only knew how to cook. We had roti every single day, and I had to make it every single day. We had the
Is that hard to make?
it's not hard to make.
Oh.
Very easy. Just it's like a flatbread. And then we had like either sabjis or dal, and my dad would cook meat a couple of maybe 1 or 2 weekends a month. So I did not know how to cook Western food until I got married. And we experimented with things like my mom would try to make Western food and she would add achar. Achar is pickles. My dad would make an interesting take on pancakes. And
With pickles in it?
and
Oh
then
my
and then
No.
so my dad will make pancakes, and these pancakes were really not pancakes because when I look back, I'm like, oh my God, he was making crepes. They weren't pancakes at all because
We had
pancakes.
potato pancakes, latka, same
Mhm.
thing, like shredded potatoes,
Yeah.
shredded onion, made into a pie,
Yeah,
flattened out, and then cooked in oil, like lots of
Yeah.
oil,
Yeah,
and
pan fried.
potato pancakes.
Yeah.
So I guess there's lots of different kinds of
There are.
pancakes.
Yeah.
There are.
And then we had maple syrup, and then mostly my mom, would get the jar out and put it all over. I'm like, those are pancakes?
No, I'm
That was
sorry.
our
If it's a
version.
pancake, it should be a pancake. Don't put pickles on it. That's just sacrilegious.
Unless you call it a pickle pancake.
Yeah, unless you call
And
it
unless you've
something
tried it.
else. Unless you
So
tried
we
it.
grew up with an Indian spin on. So when my mom did start making some Western food, there was always an Indian spin on it. So we just didn't know.
Yeah.
And then so when I grew up and started going to restaurants and learning things on my own, got married, I really figured out how to cook.
Cooking
So
is
I've
an
learned.
experience.
Mm-hmm.
Cooking is for anybody out there who's listening who doesn't enjoy cooking and thinks I'm not a good cook, it's definitely something that you learn by trial and error. And if you do it several times and people don't enjoy it, find new people. That's like rule number one. Find your tribe. Find the people that appreciate that you went shopping, you got the pans, you put the apron on, you dirtied your kitchen, you shred things, you clean things, you peeled things, you open things, you pour love into the food that you're creating. And it's so much more than the food for me. It's so much more than the recipe. It's about part of the recipe is the love that you're pouring into it. And if you can make it fun, if you can make it reminiscent of, I wonder what my grandmother would do. I wonder what my mom would do. Or like there's this in psychology, we put the hat on of the person that we want to think like, or we want to act like, or we want to feel like. And you can literally imagine putting a hat or an outfit of theirs on and move through them as you're creating.
Nice.
And that can make a different experience in the kitchen for what you're creating versus I'm just cooking. It's like, how about you're creating, you're illuminating, you're feeding, you're nurturing your family. It's not about the eggs. It's about driving that extra 10 minutes to that little farm on the side of the road where you can see the chickens as you're driving by, and you back up or you turn around and you go down the driveway and you say, "Excuse me, I was wondering if I could buy some of your eggs. You have these happy chickens that are outside foraging, doing what they're supposed to do. They're not in a barn where they never see light, where they're so crammed together that their legs break when they're separated." When you learn about food, and you learn about what's nurturing you, it can change the whole experience of cooking.
Mhm.
You bring those eggs into any dish, and because you went to that extra effort to go, and then if they don't appreciate it, it's okay. It's about us appreciating. It's about us knowing what we've poured into that dish. The butter that we think about, the cream that we think about, the pancake with the pickles. I mean, it's not about the taste. It can be about the taste if you make it about the taste. Like nothing has meaning but the meaning we give it. If we give it the meaning that someone has made an effort, even if it's not good on our taste buds, what can we find that's good about it? Can you find in the kitchen the experience of actually cooking and looking through the fridge and seeing what can I put in here and the spices and not knowing what spice goes in it? So put a little bit on your tongue and see if this might work and just play. Like cooking is playing for me. It really is. It's exploring and creating and playing. And if my husband doesn't love it, I'll make him a grilled cheese and then I'll make something different the next night. But I'm playing in the kitchen. If it's not fun, you're doing it wrong.
Oh, that's a good way of looking at it. And just to clarify, guys, I do feed my family. Okay? It's not like they never eat. Like I make the rice and, I make the steak but I can't make like Indian food or Persian food because I know it takes many more steps, many more spices. Like my mom can spend the whole morning in the kitchen to make one meal, right? She's having a jolly good time.
Yeah.
Me, it takes me like half hour. I want to get it done. They can be fed. I don't want you guys to think they're hungry. They They're plenty fed, but not the traditional, like complicated food,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know?
And on that note, I was thinking too, I've gone through phases where cooking has been fun and playful and there's that excitement. And then there's just the practicality of,
Yes.
Yeah,
your
okay.
family's hungry, you're coming
Absolutely.
home, there's like this practice happened, that practice happened, and you've just got to get it done.
Yeah.
And one thing I came back to before anybody would pick up and order out, I would just think what my mom has always said, it takes 20 minutes to put a healthy meal on the table. Now, whether that's true or not, the
Probably
imprint is there.
is.
And I always think, okay, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. I can do something in 20 minutes. And by the time I start with that mentality and I plan to put something healthy, then some of that playfulness does come back. And then you kind of, as a busy mom of kids, or if you've got a career that's really busy, you do have some of those recipes that are just in your back pocket. And very recently, my daughter learned to make one of my what I call 20-minute dinners, which has always been our family's favorite. And it's a salmon that I've Indianicized. Like I've made it. And it's funny, I got inspired by my dad, who, like you were sharing, Gravinder, your mom would like put spices, Indian spices into a lot of different Western meals.
Yeah.
My dad would do that with hamburger meat. Like he would add cumin seeds and he would add all these interesting things. So I started doing that to my salmon.
Ooh.
And on my salmon, I'll just share the recipe because
Okay.
honestly, it is the best salmon. I've given it to, I've had so many people eat it and they always go, but your salmon, oh my God, your salmon is so good. And I literally put salt, turmeric, cumin seeds, some soy sauce, some freshly squeezed lemon juice. And I do think it has to be freshly squeezed. And basically that goes into the oven, 400 degrees, 18 minutes. And along next to the salmon, I put a bunch of veggies, so broccoli, cauliflower, whatever. A little drizzle of oregano, salt, pepper. I am telling you, this meal goes down so well with my family. It's a once or twice a week meal because it's so simple. And I just customized this recipe.
Is it wrapped? Do you wrap the
I'm
salmon?
so simple of a cook. When I'm talking 20 minutes, 20 minutes is like no fuss. It's in a
But you
pan.
wrap your salmon.
No, I don't wrap it.
So there's your thing.
There's
You
your
just put your salmon in it and all those ingredients.
Yeah.
You just say put it in the oven 20 minutes.
Oh, 18 minutes. at
Okay, well, we're
400.
going to do that tonight.
Okay.
If they don't
Thank
like it, I'm moving out of my house. I'm changing my people.
But part of that is attention to the timing, like making sure I'm not overcooking the
Yeah.
salmon because for me, the taste does matter. I love something that's seasoned well. I love that something's not overcooked or undercooked. And for me, I don't know, like that for me is just that little bit of extra care and attention, trying it as I'm cooking. Does this have the right mix of seasoning, flavor? So I really appreciate a cook that does make the effort, but also that goes that extra step and just checks the seasoning maybe as they're going along. But that playfulness comes and goes. Sometimes it's a chore and it's something that has to be done and it's, but sometimes it can be playful. And that's what I'd love to work towards.
Presentation matters too, guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Color.
Like when you go to restaurants and they put like flowers and stuff on your food. Oh my God, I love that. Like I was just thinking while Sandeep was talking about, yes, taste definitely matters. But sometimes you're going to a restaurant and they bring this most exquisite thing, even the dish they serve it on, right? And it's got like I said, flowers, or the dish has like little ornaments on it. Just looking at it, it's like, wow.
The dessert with the swirl and the dots. You can do that. It's so easy.
Yeah.
Piece of mint from the garden.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
So
that's
easy
nice.
to spruce it up.
To spruce it up. Very true.
I'm making right now at home. I have beef in the slow cooker.
Oh.
And so I honestly, I didn't know how to make it. I've made it 3 times, and it's not that tender fall off the bone. What is it? The beef. It's the beef ribs. Beef ribs.
Okay.
And so take them out of the freezer, let them thaw in the fridge overnight. They're still not thawed. Keep thawing. Then bring them out. Bring them to almost room temperature in the half an hour on the counter, and then put them in the bottom of the slow cooker for 1 hour on high heat. and then turn it down for low heat for 6 hours. So I was looking this
Wow.
morning, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go podcasting. I want to make something wonderful for my honey tonight. What am I going to do with these? I've taken these out and I want to cook them. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to wait last minute cooking them at 7:15 in the oven and then 20 minutes. And they're just not. They're going to turn out like before. So I pulled up ChatGTP.
Oh.
And I took a picture. I'm like, here's the weight. They're almost thawed. I'd like to use my pressure cooker because I want to start it now and make it be ready by 7:30 or 8 p.m. tonight. What do I do? And I said, here's the spices that I have. So I took a picture of my spice rack, and I took a picture of the brand of my cooker, my slow cooker, and it said, okay, put a bunch of garlic in the bottom, put some beef broth, and like I only have chicken broth. Chicken broth is fine; it goes with beef. Use half because it's a little bit salty, and you're going to use Montreal steak spice because it asks for fresh ground pepper, and I've just run out. So I'm like, what can I use instead? And I sent a picture and use your Montreal steak. Then you don't need to use your
Genius.
onion powder. You don't need to add salt because it's going to be in the So I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And it tells me exactly how long to cook it because I've taken a picture of the package, which has the weight of the meat on the package. And so set it and forget it.
That's
So
incredible.
Yes.
I
Wow.
never
Love
thought
that.
of that.
Brilliant.
That's so cool.
I'll let you know how
Love
it
it.
turns out.
Yeah.
I'll let you know
Yes.
how it turns
What
out.
can we tell you? It's going to be great.
It's
Just
gonna-
what you've mentioned in terms of ingredients. How
Yeah.
can you go wrong?
How can you go wrong?
Yeah.
So then I'm like, what do I put on the side? So on my way home from here, I'll go and pick up some green beans and some more potatoes. So I don't have enough. And I'm going to chop those and put them in the oven for the final 40 minutes of the brisket or whatever it's called and broil the top of it.
Nice.
And let's start with your intention. Your intention is you want to make something really delicious for your honey.
Yeah.
And that's what sets you on this path.
Oh, it did.
Yeah. So
It did.
lucky honey tonight.
Lucky honey tonight. Lucky honey tonight. I do love to cook because I'm cooking for him.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference. Otherwise, I really don't enjoy cooking.
I agree with you guys. When I set intentions when I'm cooking, I think I've mentioned it before. Especially when I'm cooking meat, I am talking to the meat.
Yes.
I'm always talking. So if I'm making burgers, I buy grass-fed beef, and so I'm talking to the beef and I'm saying thank you, thank you for allowing us to enjoy you. Thank you for the sacrifice that you have made. And I'm like, you are going to feed my children and my husband. I thank you so much. So I pour all of this love and I'm listening to great music or I'm listening to a really light podcast. And then I'm putting all the fresh ingredients in because I make everything from scratch almost every night. But I'm talking to the food. And so when you're talking to the food, I find that everyone enjoys it more. And I've heard the elders talk about making sure that you're in a happy mood. I've heard it a number of times now from the elders.
Yeah.
They in Punjabi, I can't remember the wording they say, but they're saying it's to the effect of make sure you're happy when you're cooking because if you're angry or mad, kind of like when you make some muffins or you make a cake and you're angry and you just shove it in the oven
It won't rise.
and it won't rise.
It won't rise.
So I've always remembered that. And I'm cooking, I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm making sure that the food that my family is eating is going to really nourish them. That's what I love about cooking, knowing that whatever my kids, my husband are eating is going to fully nourish them. I love knowing that.
Yes.
And yeah.
I'm going to remember to talk to my food
Talk to all the
next
food, even
No,
to the
but
vegetables.
You said that last time. You
Yeah,
said that
and
to
to the
me last time.
vegetables. It's like like if now I have this garden in the yard. I planted everything. In another couple of weeks, I'll have cucumbers and lots of fresh herbs and hopefully peppers and zucchinis and all of that. And as I'm cutting it, I'll be saying thank you.
That's lovely.
Thank you for your
That's really
sacrifice.
lovely.
Did I share the story about the monk who ate everything on the table except for one dish?
No.
No,
Let's hear
Not
it.
ringing a bell.
not ringing a
Yeah,
bell.
he was a special guest at this huge honorarium, this very famous monk. and everything on the table had been prepared by the house that they were in, the family. And there was one dish that he did not, he put it on his plate and he didn't eat it. And the hostess had asked him, is there something wrong with that dish? And he said, I'm just not, it doesn't have a good energy on it. And she said, and I'm paraphrasing, she said that I was in the thick of it when I was preparing that dish. There was energy going into that dish that was not the same energy as everything else at the table.
Oh.
Wow.
And he knew that. He knew that sitting on the. So to your story about pouring love in, and it's amazing that pies don't rise, but cakes and muffins don't rise
Yeah.
if there's negative energy that's going in. It's really, it's like the yakimoto and the rice and the water, the different formations on the water and the snowflakes when you put anger or fear or war or joy.
Shame,
Yeah,
guilt.
they show up
Yeah,
different. It's
that's right.
so
The
real.
crystallization.
So real.
Yeah. I'm going to take it back to when I was a younger mom. And I used to play this game with the kids where I'd make pasta sauce. And in the pasta sauce, I'd be what I thought being very sneaky. I'd put in, I would food process broccoli, cauliflower, spinach,
Oh, yes.
carrots,
Oh, yes.
onions, ginger, garlic, all of it. And I throw so many vegetables into my pasta sauce. And I thought, well, I don't want to deceive them because what's the point? I want them to know. So the game would be, can you guess how many vegetables are in
Oh,
this
how
sauce?
cool is that?
So they would look, they'd be in there and it's because it was so chopped up. And, kids and their sensory stuff, oh, this is carrots. I don't like, so I just really finely chop it up. But they would have so much fun playing and it never occurred to them, oh, I'm eating vegetables. They were just so excited to guess right.
Oh my gosh, that's
Oh, that is
Yeah,
genius,
that was one of the
Sandeep.
hacks I had to
Oh my
share.
God.
And then I was going to say that, cooking for your children or your family, it kind of pays off. Like what's happened for me is I've actually put myself out of the job of family chef. And I'm really enjoying it right now because both my kids, they like to cook for themselves. Like I'm offering, would you like breakfast? I can make dinner because they're home right now from school. And they're both like, nope. No, thank you. Like because they have their macronutrients that they're counting.
yes,
And yes, how much protein they're getting, how many carbs, what kind of fat they want. And, and so I'm just watching going, wow. And the stuff they make, it truly reflects a lot of the recipes that I made growing up. And I
That's so
find this
special.
just so fascinating that they were paying attention. And the way our kitchen is set up, it's set up like my parents' was, where the stovetop faces out into the greater room. And we have a countertop and there's chairs there. So, quite often kids would be sitting there as I'm preparing the food, not aware that I'm actually doing cooking demos for them. So they were paying attention.
Part of them is always paying
And so it's
attention.
so
That's
interesting
beautiful.
because I'm not cooking for these young adults. And people will say, well, you shouldn't be cooking for them anyway. But as a mom, it's just really interesting that they love cooking for themselves. And on the odd occasion, they'll offer, to share their meal that they've made or whatever it is. But it's pretty cool. And even my husband's become very independent. So as much as I've cooked throughout my many, many years, 25 plus years, now I find myself just cooking for myself. And it's very interesting that that kind of circle has come and now they're really loving being in charge of their own nutrition. Yeah. And what they're making. It's really cool to see.
Well, on that note, what is your go-to fast, nourishing meal? Like, I would love for our viewers and listeners to get some ideas on, okay, they've got 10 minutes to whip something up that's healthy for themselves. Maybe they double it for someone else in the house. What's one or two of your favorite go-tos that other people could give
I'll
a try?
share an accidental discovery that I made when I think we were low on groceries. I don't know what the situation was, but I decided, okay, whatever's in the fridge, I'm just going to toss it into 4 bowls and we're going to make the best of it. So it started with a spinach base. And then there was vegetables. So I might have added some avocado. I might have added some carrots shredded, might have added cucumber, cherry tomatoes. And then what I did is I took chicken, cut it up into little cubes. Into the pan it went, like a frying pan, with a little bit of
wow.
olive oil. oregano, salt, and pepper. Like it could not be simpler.
How
But
fabulous.
because it's fresh, I tell you, it takes on a whole other dimension. And if it's cooked to the right, to the right point, I put that on top. If I'm really organized now, because anyway, I did this as an experiment, hoped for the best, made a seasoning, a dressing with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of vinegar, and again, a little bit of, honey, mustard. You get better as you go, salt, pepper. And that salad was all such a hit. And everybody just wolfed it down. And that became another regular staple. So whenever we're kind of like, it's a weird mishmash of leftover vegetables, I just make those salad bowls.
So good.
So good.
So what was in the pan?
Oh, just a little bit of olive oil.
Was the salad in the pan? Was it a
No,
hot
The
salad?
salad was separate. So this was hot chicken to put on top of
Oh,
The
fish
salad.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, and you could roast some vegetables with it.
Yeah.
Because if you want a little cold and hot dynamic, when I'm really organized, I'll have hard-boiled eggs in the fridge. So also just, chop that up. For the vegetarians, you could do chickpeas, black beans, open up a can of those, add those as your protein section. Yeah, some cheese. So just, it's such a great, it's a starter for whatever you've got in your kitchen. And you just keep adding. So that's one of my quick on the run, but super, super healthy and filling meals. Yeah.
Beautiful.
How about you guys? Anything coming to mind?
I want to share something with people who don't have as much time to cook, or they're like me, they don't want to spend a lot of time. A couple of years ago, the kids started saying, oh, we always eat the same thing. Like, why is it always the same thing? Because
you're
that's
not
all I
cooking.
can make. I only have so many recipes in my head. So I started looking for home delivery people that will do. And we finally went with one company, and they're not paying me for this. So they're called Good Food. And I really like them because every week I sit there and I have a choice of 20 meals, each of them about 15-20 minutes to make, literally 20 minutes. But what I love about it is because when you choose a meal, the meal will come with everything you need to make it.
Right.
From that salt and pepper to all the spices. Because one of my thing is, okay, I got to make a list now. Now I got to go, what is cumin and where do I find it, Whereas they sent a box, and in the box, it has your meat, whatever it comes with. There's potatoes, rice, whatever. And then all the spices in small jars. And then a little cart that tells you how to make it. So you just follow the instructions, and my son really loves following the instruction, because if you don't follow the instruction, it doesn't taste as good. I'm not so good with following instructions, but he was, and every meal just came out really good. Like you can't screw it up because everything is there. Everything is to the portion that it should be. And I just love their company, and it's relatively inexpensive. Like it comes down for all four of us for 1 week. I think it's $250.
Wow.
It's really not that bad.
That's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
We've used them as well, Masa. And I agree with you. They're very convenient,
Yeah.
healthy.
Yeah.
And everything that you need is there. And so some of the things they'll say is, you're not wasting food. Because
Yeah.
sometimes we buy carrots for one recipe, or we buy something for one recipe, and it just sits there and goes to waste because we're not making that same recipe again. But you're right, with these boxes or these pre-made meals ready to go, or a little bit of prep needed,
Yeah.
you don't waste anything.
No.
You're using everything in the box.
And our grocery bill actually went down because, like you say, you buy stuff and you don't usually use it. But it gives us the 3 meals. That's about it, about $300. And it just works out really good. So I wanted to say that. And I also wanted to say, to Meeka's point, to get the recipes out so your grandmother, and I read that now they're making this program, AI is, you literally talk into it, like my favorite recipe is, and that's how you make it. And it makes it into a book and sends it to your grandchildren or your children. So you upload a picture and you talk. You don't need to do anything else. And they actually send you the book. Now, you can use it for your recipes or your life history or whatever you want to pass on to your children or your grandchildren with your own voice. So they kind of get to hear your voice, not that they would want to forever and ever. That's kind of creepy. But, if you wanted your grandchildren
I
to
love
know
that
what you
idea.
sounded like,
Yeah.
you could tape this and then they will send it to you. So
Love it,
before
love
I
it.
forgot, I wanted
Yeah.
to say
Great
that.
idea.
I did an
Yeah.
experiment with my mom. I had this beautiful intention that my mom, being such a good cook, I'm going to visit her every Friday and I'm going to record her making whatever dish I asked her to make that day. So, wow, such great intention. And so we started with pakoras, which are vegetable fritters, I guess would be the English equivalent. And, she's making them. And I'm like, oh, wait, Mom, stop. Wait, how many teaspoons did you put in there? She's like, oh, just, whatever. And she just, I'm like, okay. Approximately 1.5 teaspoons. Okay. Next step. Oh, wait, how long are you mixing that for? Well, just until it feels like it's right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was
So how do you write that
Yeah.
down?
Yeah.
How do you
And
write
so
down until
I
it
was
feels
trying
right?
to capture, her magic.
No.
And it wasn't like something you could capture. So I think what I'm going to do then, and then it fell apart because it just realized that, no, this is not the right strategy here I'm trying to write. And she was kind of like, okay, Mom, I love you, but you are not the most patient teacher. So it wasn't like she was like, well, let me measure for you and I'll help you figure this out. She was like, you just have to feel it. Just feel it. And I'm like, okay, never mind. But I love this idea that she could, or we could, whoever could record what we're seeing in real time
Yeah.
Yes.
and then have a book created. How
Yeah.
brilliant is that?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that and I don't know how you get there, but anyways, it is possible.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
very
And
cool.
you, my dear?
What's your go-to meal?
Go-to meal, I always make sure that we have lots of iceberg lettuce in the house.
Mm.
And the reason why we love having iceberg lettuce over all the other lettuce is because I can make wraps with iceberg lettuce. So I'm getting the vegetables
Nice.
Ooh, I'm
in.
gonna do that.
We have protein, so I can quickly make some chicken, or I'll make extra burgers, or I have sausages, whatever. We quickly heat it up in the air fryer, put it in the lettuce wrap, put on condiments if they want, or the kids are really digging all our pickled vegetables now.
Oh, yeah.
So they love pickled red onions, and that's their meal. It's about 10 minutes, super easy. Just as long as we have iceberg lettuce, we just make a nice little wrap of it, and it's super
Very
healthy.
nice.
Do you
It's a great
pickle
tip.
your own stuff?
I do not, but I have the intention.
The look on her face was priceless.
I have the intention. I bought jars.
Okay, that's great. Does somebody in your family pickle?
My mother-in-law does. She makes
Okay.
all the Indian pickles, and actually my parents do too.
Yeah, so it could be. It's beautiful. I
I've
love to.
learned too, but I never actually did it. I went to fermentation class back in
Mhm,
Calgary,
mhm.
but I never put it together. But I have the intention. I bought jars this summer to actually
One of the things I remember going to Poland to reconnect with my roots, and I mean the bunkers.
Uh-huh.
They almost everywhere that I went, these houses have these huge yards in rural areas,
Like
which is where my family are.
cold storage areas.
Legit bunkers. Like I'm
Bunkers.
talking like steps down
Mhm.
and an entire room, massive room with like shelves from ground to ceiling filled with jars. And I understand Poland has been hit by, every country, it seems, war after war after war, which is why they're such a resilient people
Mm-hmm.
and they're thriving now. I'm so glad for them. And in that journey, I was flabbergasted. They have chickens, they have um and these storages and all the canning. And that's one
Mhm.
thing that I wish I had learned. My grandmother on my mom's side would can. I remember they would come over with jars of cucumbers that tasted like pickles. And I was like, I didn't understand that pickles came from cucumbers as a little girl. I didn't know that. And then I remember these moments of sitting with my grandma from Newfoundland who would pickle all these things. And I was in a conversation with a friend just last week, and I was asking her, do you do the canning thing? And I didn't even realize that putting stuff in jars for long term was called canning. I've learned that, in case you don't know what canning is. And so she's like, oh yeah, I've been canning for, ever. My mom taught me how to can. I'm like, this is one of the beautiful things about living close to your mom. Like my mom is so far away. And I want to learn these things from her. I'm going to share my favorite go-to food, which because it reminds me of my mom, which is quiche. And it doesn't have to have, you don't have to have
The pastry bottom.
the pastry bottom, thank you, or the crumble or the bottom. You can literally use egg for the bottom. So a pie plate, and you mix up your eggs. I always make sure to have eggs in my fridge. They are the eggs and bananas are the two, and eggs, bananas, rice are the three things that I probably have 4 months worth in my house. And eggs, if you get them from these farms that I get them from, when they're not washed, they don't have to go in the fridge because they've got what comes naturally from the hen. And the eggs have a natural coating on them. They can sit for 3 months, like outside the fridge. It's amazing. Do your own homework on that. It's really fascinating. So I always have those three things for go-to meals. And eggs, the quiche, you just scramble them up and you throw them in the bottom of a pie plate. And then you throw in your veggies and you throw it in the oven. Like it is the easiest thing in the world. It's like an omelet that you don't have to babysit.
Right.
How long is it in the oven?
Well, it depends on how big, how many eggs are in there. You just use your fork test. You do 350 and you do 8 minutes. You go in with your fork, and it depends on how many veggies you're putting in. If you saute your veggies first, if you've got time, ultimately you can saute your veggies first and throw them in. If you don't have time, your broccoli or onion or whatever might have a little crunch to it, but it's healthy and it's super fast. And if you add a little bit of water or a little milk or any kind of milk or cream and you whip it, it will fluff, making it rise a little bit in the oven. Of course, if you do it with love, it will rise in the oven. So that's one of my favorite go-tos, which I actually don't make very much right now because I haven't. But now I'm going to go home and make that tomorrow because it just brings me back to my mom, being so busy as a mom. I think that was one of her go-tos. And soup. I mean, who doesn't have a soup? That's like the throw everything in the pot and let it simmer thing, right? Like, okay, couple of secrets that I'm going to share because we're talking about food. When I am peeling my carrots or chopping the ends off my cucumbers or any vegetables whatsoever, the ends off the carrots, I always buy them with the greens. I'll use a little bit of the greens, but then I don't use them all. And the end of the cucumber stalk or the end of the, whatever, it all goes in. I chop it up. And it all goes in a bag and it goes in my freezer. All the ends, all the peelings. And then I take that bag and I bring it to somebody who has chickens. And I give it to them because we are what we eat. And so now the chickens are eating, and they, you don't want them to be moldy or old, but the tops of the cherries or the strawberries, the tops. We don't eat the little greens. Some people do. You throw it in, you chop the top off. Some people don't want any of the tops, so you chop the whole top off, throw it all in a bag in your freezer. And when it gets big enough, take it to somebody who has chickens. Don't do potato peels or yam peels or sweet potato peels. Those are bad for chickens, but pretty much everything else. Eggshells. You can put your eggshells in the oven for 20 minutes and just roast them for 20 minutes on like 180, and then any bacteria gets killed, and you can crush the eggshells, and they're really good for you actually, all the calcium, and for the hens. So those are a couple of things.
I didn't know that.
Wow, love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that.
So veggies and everything else, just chop the top, put it in a freezer, and give it to someone that has hens.
Yeah, hens and chickens. Yeah, even if they're meat chickens, they're eating, because so many of them, they're in dirt patches, right? You can't let them roam because of coyotes and raccoons, and so they don't get to roam like they normally would because they're in the city, and so they try to cage them, but they're still supplementing with corn, which is usually genetically modified. It's not a natural diet for them, and so it's not the healthiest, happiest chicken. But when you can give them your fruit toppings, the insides of your cantaloupe, your melon, they love that gooey, mushy stuff that we just scoop into the garbage or the green bin.
nice.
Throw it in your bag that's in the freezer, and it's
Love
really neat.
it. Wow.
Great
That
idea.
was good. That was good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what's your biggest takeaway from today, Gurvinder?
I love hearing how special food is to us and all the beautiful stories, especially that we have learned from our parents and our grandparents. I love that. I love knowing that it's going to live on because our kids are watching and our kids are going to take it, showcase it to their children, just generations after. Previous generations show it us, and then the future generations are going to keep going. I love that.
Yeah. How about you, Basa?
I like the fact that you give grace to the food and you thank it before you eat it. I think that's amazing. Buddhists always do that. Every religion, Christians, they pray before they eat. And it used to be a big thing, but we've forgotten to do this.
Yeah.
Just give thanks for the food on our table. And I think just taking the time to give your food love before you cook it for your family, or just thank the food before you eat it, I think that was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I echo what both of you say about it. My takeaway to add something different is, if you're a busy mom right now, give yourself grace. And you've heard 4 different women share how we are sometimes playful with our food. We have time to make, we enjoy making, and sometimes we don't. And there are, everything's okay. I think as long as the love and intention is there. So give yourself grace and know that you're not alone if you don't feel like cooking for a phase or a very long number of years.
There's our
And with that, we have our finale takeaway, Meeka.
Yeah. Wow. It is to pour love into the food as you're preparing it. Absolutely. I love that, Gurvinder. I usually do it at the dinner table right before we eat. Thank the farmers, thank the animals for the ultimate sacrifice, thank the grocery store clerks for working that day. And yet I didn't it's such a beautiful reminder, but as we're preparing it, as we're cooking it, to send love to the animals and the farmers and oh my gosh, and the bees that travel around and all, it could be, the ripple effect goes on and on and on. How sweet. This was great. We hope you learned something fascinating. Share with us what your favorite recipes are and what your takeaway was today. Maybe there's a meal that you like to eat, and Ibiza is the name of the restaurant. Oh my God. It's called Ibiza. It's in Port Coquitlam, Lougheed Highway and Coast Meridian. It's on the end of a hotel. And it's a Polish family in the kitchen, Polish family on the dining room floor, and you were sharing about the yogurt on top of your dish.
Yes.
The borscht is the same. We get a plop of really thick, creamy sour cream.
Yum.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so hungry right now. So on that note, ladies,
See you next time.
Yay!
The views shared on this podcast reflect our personal experiences and opinions. This content is not a substitute for professional advice. Please consult a qualified expert for any medical, legal, or mental health concern. If this conversation spoke to you, please follow the Ladies in Power podcast and leave us a review. Your voice helps more people find this sisterhood and these conversations. Together we rise. And remember, your voice matters here.